Really? Okay. You can only track down the author of the letters and convince them to recant these statements. The student body would have no choice but to withdraw their motion. Search. Look for more of the same document? Brilliant plan, Archon. By examining all the letters that have been distributed throughout the Scholasticate, we may very well find clues leading us to the culprit. Settled then. Let's return to the Scholasticate and commence our search. Oh, this is where I want to be. Let me in. Suspicious letter. Hey, Crammy, you got a suspicious letter? He was already apprised me of the situation. Not that he needed to, mind you. It's for that very reason that I remained behind with Blazy. To investigate the origin of the nasty rumors flying about. It didn't take long for us to connect the rumors to the letters and coax one of the seminarians to show us the document they had received. Thank you. I investigated further, and behold, these are all the ones I managed to collect in my search thus far. Under normal circumstances, the baseless invectives penned here would hardly suffice to convince anyone. It would seem, however, years of harbored animosity have blinded people to their better judgment. You only found one? Oh, Blazy found one. Oh, yes, in fact, Crammy and I have been gathering letters all morning. Feast your eyes on this. The girl said that the letter just showed up on our bed, as if out of nowhere. I returned to my quarters to check if I had received something similar, but there was nothing to be found. First, I thought it was a simple oversight. After asking around, I learned that there were more than a few others who, like me, had been overlooked. Suspicious letter! Hey, Jean Shit. Suspicious letters? What were you talking about? I've not received anything of the sort. Now that you mention, however, I did observe some of the seminarians tossing out crumpled slips of paper. Now, these are the letters you seek? Oh, okay. Did your search prove fruitful? Excellent. Let us take a closer look and see what we can discern. Curious. Our culprit has gone through the trouble of writing and distributing 3 distinctly different versions of the letter. First reads, as illustrated by the recent abduction that has taken place within these sacred halls, our Chombaden will stop at nothing to eliminate those who stand in his way. Such blatant disrespect to our teachings must not be tolerated. Second says, it is one thing to disagree with the opinions of your fellow seminarians. It is quite another to abuse one's influence to have your ideological opponents removed. Law, a firm believer in the teachings of Volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity, staunch advocate of equality, fell victim to our Chombaden's treachery. The villain cannot go unpunished. And last but not least, Newell's copy of Volume 11 was discovered in the prefect's room shortly after the girl's disappearance. This, more than anything, proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that our Chombaden is guilty. Or someone wants you to think that. Well, the finer letter at least offers an argument, and it's hardly a compelling one. correct me if I'm mistaken, but aren't there several copies of the Articles of Polity sitting on our library shelves? Well, I can't speak to why Archombaudin would have one in the first place. The book found in his quarters could have been any one of these. Blazy, when you spoke with Ula earlier, did she mention anything about Volume 11? Think anything of it at the time. But while Ula was recovering in the infirmary, she asked that I retrieve her copy from her room. When I went to look for it, it wasn't there. The tome was removed unbeknownst to her. So it would seem. After all, she testified that when the two thugs seized her at the marketplace, she had nothing on her person but a pocket of gil. Presumably, the book was still in her quarters then. One thing if the book had disappeared with Ola, but for someone to sneak into her room and remove it after the fact? It's as if the culprit intended to use it to frame Archombaudin all along. But no, that's good, you're right. And that's the reason none of us received a letter. We're the only people who'd be able to confirm with Ula that the book had been pilfered from her room. Go to such great lengths to frame Archombaudin. Sarthio, always striving to help his fellow man. Even if that man is all that stands between him and the top of the class, it's enough to leave a girl smitten, isn't it, Blazy? Talking about? I'm not smitten. I just admire him for his kind heart. That's all. Blazy. Blazy. Blazy, where did she dash off like that? Has she taken ill? In a matter of speaking. Well, I'll go and make sure she's okay. Dear. Oh, whatever it is, I hope she recovers quickly. In the meantime, we need to put our heads together if we hope to get out of this mess. Okon, what do you think? Why would anyone go to such lengths to implicate Archombaudin? To throw others off the scent? Of course. Say the kidnapper or herself could have such a strong motive to concoct this convoluted plan. Traces the possibility, but that the kidnapping was not but a plot to have Archombaudin expelled in the first place. In other words, if you can track down the person behind these letters, we'll have ourselves a culprit behind Ula's abduction. We must inform Inspector Briodigan straight away. Currently conducting an investigation in the vault, you say? Let us make our way there with all speed. No, not the vault. No, please don't make me go back there. That's him. Over there. Oh, it's you. What brings you all the way here? Do you have something to report? Maybe. Maybe not. see. Show me these letters. I shall determine if they are as suspicious as you insist. That's everything we've been able to find. Author goes out of his way to mention that Ulaw's copy of Volume 11 was found in Archambaddin's room. The fool. In his feeble plot to frame the prefect, he has only framed himself. Incriminated himself. I trust that you two have put the pieces together. Proven an able associate indeed. It is from here, however, the real work begins. Should at any time you could begin to feel your powers of concentration waver, or your attention to detail slip, you need but do this. Take a deep breath and focus your eyes into the distance. In that moment, a solution will appear before you. Game is afoot. If we intend to win the day, we must remain vigilant. Now let's get our man. Learn the emote spectacles. Okay, that's apparently the emote. Before we are pursuing a man in earnest, answer me this. Can any of you tell me where Ulaw's copy of Volume 11 currently is? I say it was found in Archambaddin's room, though for all we know, that could be complete and utter bollocks. Archon? I see you've managed to keep your word to Lebrosor. Very good. Allow me to enlighten the rest of you. The tome is currently in my possession. Lebrosor discovered it in Archambaddin's room and turned it over to us in secret, for fear it would fuel the ongoing rumors. Now, knowing what you do, it's time to put your minds to the test. What do you surmise is the relationship between our talented writer friend and the thief that lifted the book from Ulaw's quarters? Not related in the slightest. Aww. Seems you've missed the obvious. If you were to take a moment and work through the facts, you would notice the motivation behind the stolen book and letters is the same. Stand to reason that the perpetrators are either working in tandem or are in fact one and the same. Which leads us to our next question. Who would have been able to enter and exit Ulaw's room unannounced? The perpetrator was able to move quickly and not draw attention to themselves in the act, leading me to believe our book snatcher had easy access to all rooms within the dormitory. How, you might ask? Keys. Something only 3 people currently possess. Father Saturnin, and the prefects Archambaddin and Lebrosor. So, one of them is the culprit? But which could it be? I don't know. No idea. Couldn't be. I know. It was Archambaddin. Think about it. Explains how he was so adamant in refusing our help. Sense is there in him stealing a book. And the only thing it would serve to do is implicate him in a crime that he may not have even committed. And that leaves Lebrosor. He's the only person aside from the inspector and Archon who came into contact with the book. I'd say he's a prime suspect. certainly is suspicious, but what motive could he possibly have? If only there was some way we could glean the answer. Okay. Harry, you possess a great gift, one which you employed to reveal long-hidden truths about our nation. Might you be able to use this power to shine some light on the matter at hand? Not important enough. So it's not yours to control. I guess that means we'll have need to rely on our own wits to obtain the answers we seek. Fortunately, I have an idea of my own, but I'll need your help to see it through. Well then, Theo, let us put this idea of yours into action. Last I heard, our Trombadin and Lebersor had taken refuge in Zermail Manor. Let's make our way there, post-haste. Leave it to you. See, the bumbling of those three did not interfere with the final stage of my investigation at the vault. But do not tarry long. With Father Saturnin throwing his full support behind the petition, our Trombadin has but a few bells before his name is permanently struck from the registry. I shall see what I can do. I shall do what I can to see the proceedings are delayed, but I cannot guarantee it will buy us all the time we need. Godspeed, Archon. I'll see you at the hearing. Doop boop boop. Boop. Boop doop boop boop doop boop boop doop boop. You're probably up these stairs. Oh. Sup? Bindings. Ha! As if anything you four managed to dig up can help me now. The hearing is about to begin. My fate is as good as sealed. Still time, Archimedon. Earlier you pledged your innocence to us. Let us pledge it once more. The hearing. For one and all. Truth shall speak for itself. Truth? Expect those fools to see the truth when this evidence to the contrary is staring them in the face? How do you think this plan your pea-sized brains have concocted will succeed where all Lebersor's best attempts have failed? Will succeed, Archimedon. For it is not just I that stands with you, but the hero brought to light the truth behind our very nation. Yes, there is nothing that he has not seen. Surely you understand the implications of this. Don't you, Lebersor? The ability to peer into the events of the past. Indeed, it was through his visions that Ishgard's true origins were brought to light. You say no more. He has already used his vaunted power to see that I was the one behind it all. Yes, it was I that kidnapped Ula. It was I that snuck into her room and stole Volume 11. And it was I that distributed the letters. All so that I might implicate Archimedon. Satisfying it is to finally be able to say it aloud. So long, I've had to plot my revenge in silence. Mask my hatred for you with hollow praise and bashful smiles. So, what madness is this you speak? Truly are oblivious, aren't you? Then allow me to enlighten you. After all the transgressions your family has committed against mine, did you truly think I would remain loyal to you? For centuries your house has humiliated us. It was something we'd come to accept. But the wall between the nobility and the common class came tumbling down. We were met with the most harrowing truth of all, that all our suffering had been for naught. Everything we grew up believing about our status was a fabrication, tall tales spun to keep us complacent. In reality, you're no better than the two broom rats beside you. You never were. It was a terrible realization, one that also gave me hope. Could be taken down just as any other. That's when I began my plotting. Ulah's abduction, the letters and the rumors they spurred, all was part of my master plan. To bring shame and dishonor on you and your family, as you have mine. I staked everything, yes, even my very freedom, but it was worth it to give you a taste of our pain. What's more, I bribed the two kidnappers into abducting Ulah with money from your purse. And having entrusted the management of your finances to me, you never suspected a thing. So, I only imagine the pain you have endured, but to seek revenge in this way. Nevertheless, I thank you for confessing to your crimes. Now we can absolve our Chombaden of the false charges brought against him. But wait a minute. You mean he didn't actually see into the past? You deceived me. Yeah, well, you're not really that smart. If you don't recall, Dion never explicitly said that Archon had a vision of what happened to Ulah. He merely observed that he possesses such an ability. Truth be told, it is not even a power that can be controlled at will. Now then, Archombaden, I suppose that's all the proof of innocence you'll need. Let's all escort Lebrasor to the hearing and have him repeat his most dramatic confession before the headmistress. Saw it. Hatred, I mean. I had been so blind. Been friends from childhood. Never for a moment did I question his loyalty. Fool I was. Did I think I could stand at the forefront of our nation? I was so oblivious to what was happening under my very nose. Chombaden, pray do not torture yourself so. Rather, open your heart and allow Halon's wisdom to set you free. Once you come to see Lebrasor not only as your friend but as your peer, promise that the both of you will find a way to mend any bonds that have been broken. Yori's love will all men receive, and by the balance of her spear will all be set free. Truly believe those words, don't you? Cling to them, even when reality does all it can to prove you wrong. I suppose it is that unwavering faith that your friends find so endearing. Now then, it's time for me to put my own faith to the test, and face my fate head on. The Fury have mercy. So, what are you waiting for around here for? A hearing to attend. I'll meet you two there. There's something I must confirm with the inspector first. Arkham, I cannot shake the feeling that this affair runs far deeper than any of us could have imagined. If you would, please accompany Archombaden into his hearing and see that nothing goes awry in my absence.